Remember when you won the Spanish lottery? Well, technically maybe you didn't do that. But a few years ago it was pretty common that you got emails where somebody spammed you and started by saying you won the Spanish lottery. I won it a few dozen times at least. Equal spam that we currently get in science is predatory journals. What does that mean? It means journals who want to pretend to publish your research for a small fee. So pretty often when you publish in science, you have to pay. So that's something that is not completely uncommon. There's a lot of discussions about the back and forth of this business model, but where there's a business model, there are others close to follow. And what happens there is that people declare it a business to publish what they declare to be science, and more often than not, it's not science. So how do you spot such journals? Well, one thing is they often have names that are somewhat made up or a combination of other important journals. So you have, for instance, the Journal of Ecology. Suddenly you have the International Journal of Ecology. While the first one is held in pretty high esteem, the second one is just something somebody made up. And that is happening like really, really often, that people just almost make up journals and then they publish stuff and they make a lot of money with it. Is the research then on a standard level? So in other words, does it pass peer review? Is it being controlled by expert scientists in their field? Well, all that is usually not happening. That's a business model where people publish pretend research against a small fee. So you pay and you get published. And that's not how it usually works. You get peer reviewed, sometimes you have to pay, and then you get published. So, and one thing how you can also spot such journals is when you look at the editorial board. So that's another good sign that if you have a rather international editorial board with a diverse set of reviewers, that's also a good sign that it's, I guess, not one of those feeble journals. So how else can you spot them? Through the history. If they are a little bit older, these journals, then they have been established. They might have something called an impact factor, which can be criticized for all sorts of reasons, but it still helps you to find, okay, this has been around since quite a while, the scientific community is aware of it. It didn't vanish, because these predatory journals, they come and go. Sometimes they vanish then again. So that's something that is very important, because there's a lot of science out there that is following not really the standards of science, but more business models. So try to spot these, be on the lookout, and don't fall into their traps.